everybody. Welcome to
This is our
We're doing
first
it live.
podcast.
We're doing it live. Honestly, before I hit go live, I hit the video at the wrong time. I'm all out of sorts today. Anyway, welcome to Pod What Happens Live, a podcast for all things Bravo. We have a lot of Bravo to talk about this week. I am your host, Katie. I am here with my co-host, Carrie, and I'm a mess. How are you, Carrie?
I am good. I told you that. So right before the podcast, Katie ran to grab a drink and I went on Instagram, and I have some drama that I think anybody who listens to this podcast because they watch Bravo will enjoy.
I'm ready for it.
So I have a friend that I've had for like 10 plus years. She was engaged and her fiance broke up about a little over a week ago.
Okay.
I'll keep my reservations about him in general, but
Okay.
I'll just keep those to myself. But this hasn't been like announced anywhere publicly, social media wise yet. She texted like the group of us that work together at camp being like, hey, just so you know, before this comes out, before you see it or figure it out and whatever, like so you know. So I like clicked Instagram, and her ex-fiance story was the first one that was there, and it said it was a picture of like Planet Fitness, and it's like breakup gains about to be immaculate. So like you're announcing that like you are no longer engaged through like a picture of a shoddy Planet Fitness,
Yeah, like go
through
to a
your
real
Instagram
gym at
story.
least if you're trying to flex on it. Ew, what a loser.
So
you gotta spend that $10 a month, bro. Get those free bagels.
Do they do free bagels?
Yeah,
like once
pizza,
a month,
I think.
Yeah, I remember.
I think like every Friday or something. I don't know.
Wow,
something ridiculous, something counterintuitive.
Right, like here's carbs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think that like to break the news in we'll say publicly. I mean, Instagram is basically public. In that manner.
Yeah, ew.
Just like we've done better things here.
Wait, so it sounds like a win for your friend.
I again am going to try to be nice. Yes.
Yes, it is. Sounds like a win. So
yeah, I just saw that like right before we started. So it's just like, is this for real? Katie, I'm going to tell you about something on the podcast. Let's get this out.
I'm in. I thought you were going to talk to me about Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner. Because apparently
issue is him smoking in a concert venue. You're disgusting.
Yeah, hardcore openly smoking like around a lot of other people.
That punch that dude in the face.
Yeah. Also, like, ew to him in general. But apparently he has like big fan groups, and they were all having like a full-on meltdown about this. And then they're like getting into fights with like Instagram accounts that are making fun of them for having meltdowns about it's like a whole internet thing of like people having meltdowns over, even though there's been rumors that Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet have been dating for quite a while. This is their first public outing.
They hard launched by making out
at
Beyonce's concert.
Which like that's a pretty good hard launch.
Yeah. I don't care that they're together. I care that you are selfish enough to be smoking a cigarette in the middle of a public venue. You're disgusting. And I'm out on you.
Yeah, I was never in. I don't think I've ever seen anything of any of his work, but I'm not a movie person, so.
Same. If you were to put him and like 3 other random white dudes who look like him in front of me, I'm not gonna be able to definitely pick out from like as Lisa Barlow would say, a witness protection or police lineup.
Perfect segue.
Thank you.
Well, before we get there, I know we want to touch on the Carl and Lindsay, the news that we broke first.
Yeah, we had to have been the first podcast that talked about it. There's no way we were.
1,000% were. There's no way. I mean, it was happening I know we talked about this last time too, but it was happening in real time as we were podcasting.
There's been like a lot of information that comes out or has come out about it. But we haven't gotten like the Joe Jonas, Sophie Turner, like mutual Instagram story of like.
Yeah, but then like he's bashing her and or his people are bashing
in
her to like make
TMZ.
him look. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I first and foremost want to say justice for Danielle.
Oh, I don't agree.
I'm team justice for Danielle because I spent one of these podcasts writing for her for 5 to 7 minutes, and I feel like in this moment I can say hashtag justice for Danielle, that she saw the writing on the wall, and apparently she's being a very good friend to Lindsay
Of
during
course
all
she
this.
is.
She
This
just
is
picked
where she
Lindsay.
thrives.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we all have our lanes, and she is sticking to hers.
The codependent emotional support friend to a selfish narcissist. No shade. I mean shade, I
No
guess, but like
shade.
no shade. But like I'm on Lindsay's side. I'm on Lindsay's side on this breakup here. But like in general, she's. I don't really like any of them other than my guy Kyle, who I met one time
Mm-hmm.
and who was nice to me. And Amanda,
Yeah,
I like Amanda too. But the rest of them, I don't care for them.
I like Paige and Sierra.
Did you see Paige was like thanks on an Instagram comment that had like the guy holding a sign saying like
Yeah,
Paige was right or something?
Paige was
I think
right.
that's a little ick.
It's on brand for her.
Yeah, I don't really care for her brand.
Yeah, I mean that's fast fashion, and uh
Yeah.
one-liners at reunions are really
Yeah.
what she does.
And lays in bed
Yeah. I mean,
in
it's
a
kind of my dream
disaster.
minus like the fast fashion part,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I'm wearing a Zara shirt right now, so who am I to talk?
I'm looking down. I mean, is Amazon fast fashion? Because that's where my
Oh,
pants are
yeah,
from.
for sure. For sure.
And this sweatshirt by Dan Katz, aka Big Cat from Barstool, and his coffee company. It's
Mm.
my favorite, one of my favorites. But anyway,
Hmm.
yeah. Carl and Lindsay. So it seems like filming had stopped,
I
and
don't
Carl
understand.
called
Like,
them
called
up
producers? Yeah,
and was
that's what
like,
it seems
"I'm
like.
gonna break up with her. Get the cameras rolling. Come over here."
Which is truly wild behavior.
This is, I mean, if this doesn't tell you who Carl, like, if you didn't know that this was Carl before him doing this, like, you were one, blind, but two, here
Yes.
it is, like, see the light. It honestly doesn't surprise me. Apparently, Lindsay, like, hasn't left her apartment
Yeah.
in, well, I don't know if I should say her apartment, but an
Their
apartment, because
their
supposedly
apartment?
their apartment is already listed. I saw on Reddit.
Oh, well, that was quick.
Well, that's why I don't know if I believe that it was already listed, because, like, can you really do that fast? And if so, where is Lindsay hibernating?
Great question. I
At
heard her
Danielle's,
friends were
probably.
like, oh, probably. I heard her friends were like, come to this wedding this weekend, which is like,
Yeah.
how could you expect that to make her feel better?
As someone who got broken up with the day before a wedding of someone,
Oh,
like,
no.
people who were long distance, like England, US, and me and my long distance English
Oh,
boyfriend broke
no.
up, and we had to go to said wedding, not necessarily together, but
Yeah.
like it was a group of us from camp. I can't think of any other times that I was more miserable than in that moment, except for when my dogs have died. Like,
Yeah,
literally,
I
that's
can't
it.
imagine. It sounds
So
awful.
don't go to the wedding, Lindsay. Please
Yeah,
don't.
no, stay home, practice some kind of self-care, whatever that looks like for you. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Carl sucks. He's like in Minnesota.
Why
I
Minnesota?
think
With
his
Luke?
friend, no, not Luke, his friend who I guess is a groomsman, but I also heard he like nothing is refundable now because it's like
Yeah,
so
it was
close to the
2
time.
days too late,
Yeah. So it's like,
which
wow,
is
you really screwed
fucked
over not only
everyone.
Lindsay, but everybody, her
Yeah.
family, your friends, everyone who's in the wedding. They probably have like suits and dresses made
There
that
was
they've already
already what, a
tailored.
bridal shower that
A
he
bridal
showed up
shower that he
to.
showed up to. The bachelorette party was already being planned and probably booked and paid for. It's like the amount of money that he's costing
Yeah.
everybody is truly, I mean, you know, whatever, people break up, but like you couldn't have done this 2 days ago.
Right. That it's that number of 2. It's one of the things that,
Right.
like, if it would been like week of, I think people are still upset about it, but it's like, okay, it was like something must have happened week
Yeah.
of, whatever. But like, if there's no way that 49 hours ago, you did not have the same
Right. You
thought.
must have been feeling the same way.
I don't want to speculate on why, but the most common thing I'm seeing is like it got to a point where like the difference in lifestyles must have been. But like if it's Carl
Yeah.
breaking up with her, then is he just like sick of drunk Lindsay coming home and having to deal with her? Because like
But you knew
to
that
be
was who she was before you
right,
proposed.
but she started off their relationship being sober for with him for however long,
Yeah.
and not I mean he's known her for what 7 years at this
Yeah,
point,
something
and
like that.
most yeah a lot of their times together, Lindsay's drinking. Um, I don't know it, especially and I hate when like Lindsay goes to like, well, this guy didn't come home with me, so I've been abandoned and I've had these
Yeah.
abandonment issues. Like I always hate that in the show, but
Yeah.
this is an engagement, and you know that
Yeah.
she is like always been on the fast track to getting married
Yep.
and like wanting that so badly. On top of the abandonment stuff that like Carl clearly knows all about, and then it's not saying that like he shouldn't break up with her, but to call producers and say come film this on top of it all, to not be able to like have that in private,
Right.
disgusting, absolutely
So
disgusting.
disgusting. So disgusting. Plus, they're financially intertwined. They have this $13,000 a month, which is too much money to pay for an apartment. Uh,
Absurd.
yeah, and they own a car together. So it's like they probably have other finances together in some other ways. Like it's a mess. It's a mess. There is also
Yeah,
like a blind item or something that he was seeing somebody. There's like things
I saw that
flooding
too. Yeah,
Dunois,
yeah.
which everybody thinks is Lindsay or Lindsay's friends because Lindsay sends blind items in about people all the time. So I mean, who knows? Who knows?
um I support petty. I just don't know if this is the
Same.
place to do it. Like
I'm not mad if she. Well,
I,
here's the thing. I'm mad if it's a blind item. He publicly humiliated you. Go
yeah.
on your fucking Instagram and be like, this motherfucker did this. He did
Yep.
this. He did this. He did this. He did this. And like, get your side of it out there.
Mhm.
Because right now, it just, I mean, granted, it does make her look like she is the victim here, but it does make her, seem like she's more sad and not going scorched earth. But like, go scorched earth.
I saw Barbie this week, so I am fully on board of women being empowered to say and do what they need to have,
Yes.
if not an equal footing, a leg up on any situation that
Welcome to the
they want.
Barbieverse. We've been
Dude,
waiting for
I
you.
I know I should have gone earlier, but
No, it's okay.
um I had to go so I could scope out what seats I wanted for when I go see Taylor Swift the movie. So
Oh,
I
see, this
it
is
was
the
like
one area where we are not
mhm.
aligned.
Yes, but no, it was so good. I There was 4 of us in the theater. I was in the top row, like,
Oh, that's
cheering
the
people
best.
on. Yeah,
That's
I
the
had a
best.
bag of medium popcorn and a big ol' root beer, and I
Oh, I
just
love a
had
root
a
beer.
blast. Had a
I love a
blast.
root beer. That
But
sounds like a
Lavelle and
blast.
I may or may not break up due to Barbie because I came home and he's like, "What the fuck is this attitude that you have?" I'm like, "Barbie says." He's like, "Tell Bart." I'm like, "All men should be sent to an island." I had this opinion before, but now I'm gonna be vocal about
Mm,
it.
mhm, mhm.
He's
Yeah,
like, "Do you need
they
help with this?" I'm
should.
like, "I don't need help with anything. I'm a strong woman." He's like,
I'm
"All
a
right, but
doctor.
yeah."
I'm a mermaid. I'm a president. I'm anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, "All right, can we have a truce?" I'm like, "There's nothing to truce over. This is a lifestyle."
This is a lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. Fuck the patriarchy and
I
horses.
have a "fuck the patriarchy" keychain because
Oh, so
in
he
Taylor
knew.
Swift's song it says "fuck the
Oh.
patriarchy," but it is a "fuck the patriarchy" keychain.
Carrie, I have so many things I want to say about her dad and
Oh,
the
I mean,
patriarchy
listen,
and
I
capitalism, but
100%.
I won't.
She is the capitalist.
She
I
is like basically the patriarchy to me
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
she's her dad. Whatever. Anyway, I don't
I
need the
100%
Swifties coming
agree
for
with all
me.
that. I 100% agree. I actually had this exact conversation with my boss this week because she put out a like pre-orders for a record and it's like only 48 hours and it was yellow, right? So that ends and then like a day or two later, she's like only 48 hours, aquamarine green. And
This
so
little bitch.
my boss and I were talking about it in my one-on-one because clearly we use my time productively, which
Mhm.
is fine. And he's like, yeah, I ordered this yellow one and then this color comes out that I like better, and like just put all the colors out at the same time. Stop trying to trick me into buying
No,
all
but
of them.
then well, people would probably buy all of them if she did put
That's
them
what
out,
I
but
said.
people will buy one and be like, "Oh shit, now this new one, I gotta get that too."
Yeah,
She
there's a way that she
knows what
could
she's doing.
convince people to buy all four. I've done it in a different time when it's like she released pages of her diary, over four different versions. Yeah.
I'm sorry?
So, yeah, she released pages of her diary over four different versions of an
Is she
album. And I,
7 years old?
well, she was at
No
one
one
point.
scanned these on the internet,
Oh, yeah, but like you had to have them. So,
but they're copies.
yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not
No,
saying
it's
what I
fine.
did was
No, it's fine.
reasonable. I'm 100% agreeing
I'm not
she is
judging.
the
I've done
capitalist.
probably more ridiculous things with my money. And when NSYNC inevitably goes back on tour because it's happening, I will do significantly more. I already told Matt that I'm throwing my entire life savings away to follow NSYNC around on tour. And I'm like, I've had a couple of stressful days. I'm really considering it. So, JC Chazé, our time will come soon. I already got Chris Kirkpatrick out of the way with an embarrassing handshake. Yours is next, JC.
Well, we officially went on our first tangent, and
We did. Many more to come, I'm
yeah,
sure. Well, let's move to Salt Lake City. Unless there's more to say about Carl and
you
Lindsay. I don't
cannot
really have.
convince me to move to Salt Lake City. That place is far too white.
No. Well, yeah, we were watching it last night when it was premiering, and we were like, "This is so pretty, but everybody's so crazy, so like
Mhm.
it's not worth it." Um, we had a premiere. We're back. We
Yes.
are back. I never feel like the time away from Salt Lake City is long enough.
No, it's just been like so heavy during off seasons because of Jen Shah
Yes.
that it just is like it feels like it ended a month ago.
Plus, we had to watch Whitney and Heather Bad Weather on
Oh, right.
Girls Trip,
Ultimate
which
Girls
was not a
Trip.
good season of Girls Trip.
No.
I
But
just I just need some more time from them. Especially when we
mhm.
open with a Heather Gay. I'm still mad at Heather Gay. She still has the highest or steepest fall, not highest, but maybe she fell from the highest place down to the lowest place for me. Um I just think she sucks now. Where I used to like cheer for her, now I think she sucks.
Yeah, she has like some funny one-liners from time to time, but that's where
Yeah.
her upside ends for me.
Yeah. I agree.
She did purchase 1,500 snowballs to be a part of her her event, which like what's it like to have that type of fuck you money to be able to purchase 1,500 snowballs?
I think she needs to hold on to that fuck you money because I don't think it's going to be here for very long, personally.
Oh, how come? Is she getting sued?
No, I just feel like we opened the show, she's got this new house, she's
Yeah.
shoveling in ridiculous platform shoes, and I was like, I can't with this bitch. And then she's buying 15,000 snowballs, and I'm like, I don't know, you wrote one book. You're only on your third season as a housewife. Let's like set ourselves up for the future here. You have 3 kids, one of them's in college. Like, let's be smart. I don't know. I feel like she's gonna be one that like burns through her finances very quickly.
Yeah. We did get the like I'm a bestseller, which I thought it was funny when someone was like, "Who read the book?" and it was just crickets.
And then, okay, Mary Cosby is back. And I know not everybody
How do you
likes Mary
feel about
Cosby.
that?
I'm thrilled, personally. I'm
Ugh.
thrilled.
I feel
I
like we're
don't
giving
like
this con
her.
artist a platform.
We absolutely are. But listen, who's not a con artist these days on The Real Housewives? I can't name one.
Yeah,
I
fact.
can't name one. So, you know what? Let her con. Let her con. I just when she was like, nobody's reading that book. Like in front of Heather, it truly made me cackle out loud. A lot of the things she said made me laugh out loud. And I'm like, she's the only funny one on this show. And she's like I think she's unintentionally funny. I just think she's weird as fuck. So it just like comes off much more genuine to me than well, Lisa's also funny, but in a different way.
Yeah, I just have like I guess my problem is is there really no one else that can be blunt and funny, quirky, whatever, that isn't also the ringleader of a cult? Like, can we not find one other person in the
Married to their
vicinity of
grandfather?
Salt Lake City, yeah, who isn't fucking their grandfather?
Truthfully, might be harder than you think. It
I believe
is,
that, but Bravo must have some resources, some ears to the ground. Like, this is not who I needed. I mean, given there's no one that I needed to return in Salt Lake City, but I just, for what
yeah,
she provided, it was fine. I just am objectively not pro Mary Cosby. We just
I
got rid of a
understand.
criminal and she's still the star of this episode.
Well,
And
I really do want to talk about that. But I do, before we move on from Mary Cosby, want to say when she said that her Robert Jr. has a girlfriend, but she thinks people are telling her that he's married, and she's like, I just haven't had a chance to ask him yet. That also made me laugh out loud.
yeah.
Like your
And
20-year
where's
old son might be married, but you don't know, and you just haven't gotten around to asking him. Like, it's just so crazy.
and where's her husband? Wasn't he in
He
a
was in
different
Vegas for
country?
6 months,
Oh, Vegas,
Vegas,
not a different
which I
country.
don't think is that far from
No,
Salt Lake
it's
City.
not. It's not.
So I don't know. It's very strange.
It's just she gets to throw a lot of stones when that house is a very thin glass.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Which I almost think makes her almost more funny because she's so out there as like a mess and not a good person. The fact that I just like feel like her villain vibes are like so strong that I can't not find humor in them.
And the way that everyone was like, "Is this Mary? Is she? Am I seeing things?" Like
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone was shocked. But Meredith
Hmm.
is like, "I've actually kept in touch with her. Of course you would, Meredith. No one else wants to be your friend except Mary Cosby.
Right.
So
I want to
I'm
talk
over
about,
Meredith.
oh, I hate Meredith.
I
She
need her gone. She has
she's
no sense of
horrible.
humor."
Horrible. She has no sense of humor. She has barely a personality. She takes everything so personally and so
Yes,
seriously. And her commitment to a blazer is truly mind boggling. We saw
with shoulder
so many
pads.
blazers and shoulder pads in this episode that I'm like, you need something, you need help here. It's like something is wrong. You have a jacket in your confessional all the way like up to your neck that's like a blazer with a zipper. You have a fuzzy blazer on in a confessional with like huge shoulders. Everything you did out in the wilderness, you had a blazer on. I just don't know what's happening here. Why so many blazers? I don't understand. And I am pro blazer. I do enjoy a blazer. I just don't get why she can't just wear something else.
I think you're being offensive to blazers, her blazers, as
I like
offensive as Whitney
blazers.
was to her bathtub.
You don't come for my bathtub. You're taking shots at my bathtub.
And then when Whitney was like, "I love to take a bathtub," I'm like, that's not what you do. You take a bath.
That also made me laugh. That made me laugh. I love to take a bathtub.
Yeah, I steal bathtubs all the time too.
Where are you taking it?
Oh, that was like the fact that she was so serious, and I'm glad that like Whitney stood there was like, "Is she actually mad?" Because
Right.
I would have the same. I would be laughing in her face, like, "This is a funny joke. Good job. You finally said something funny, Meredith." And she's like, "No, you came for my family and my bathtub.
Yeah.
God forbid."
Why is she so serious about her bathtub?
It's like she jumped the 8 extra lines to then make it like, "Well, you're saying that my house is dirty and that I'm dirty because like
I have
no
a
it's
housekeeper come clean my bathtub every day. And I was like, every day? You have first of all, what are you doing in your house that you need a housekeeper every single day? It's just you and your husband because your kids are not living there. So like, what do you need a housekeeper for every single day? I don't know. That's crazy to me. Maybe that's normal, but I don't think so.
Also, um, who is using like, is someone using the bathtub every day?
Every day. I mean, I guess for a shower, if they shower every day, but
No,
like,
we saw her bathtub, didn't we? We saw
oh,
them
I
in
don't
it.
remember. Yeah, I
And
blocked that out
it
of my
wasn't like
memory.
one of
Oh,
those
it's not
like
attached to the
bathtub
shower.
showers. It's just a bathtub.
I'm thinking in like normal people speak, like my
Yeah.
shower and my bathtub are the same thing.
Yeah.
So I was not thinking in rental home speak, like Whitney read her for filth for, and then the producers added onto it and showed all 4 pictures of her different homes over the last 4 years.
That's
And I use
also
homes
very
as
funny.
quote. Let me give you quotations because they're not. I mean, they're homes. They're just not hers.
Her VRBO that she is.
Yeah, which Lisa clocked her for in her
Mhm.
hot mic rant.
Yes, also true. May
Words to
that
lie.
hot mic rant live on forever.
Her dumb fucking family that poses. That was my favorite
Mm-hmm.
part of the entire thing.
Oh, no,
Um,
Meredith can go. If this
I
was her last
agree.
episode of the season, that'd be fine.
I agree, but it seems like she's a big part of the season, just like bug-eyed yelling at everybody. So I think we're stuck.
Great. Can't wait.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah. Lisa's son is going on a mission.
Yes.
I feel like I do a lot of religion shaming on this podcast. Well, I did last week. I don't really want to do more, but I think I'm about to because I think this is a bunch of bullshit, personally, a mission in general.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it's very like white savior um
Yeah,
complex, absolutely. And it's like
right?
the pictures of like, I mean, given not all missions go to places like that, but it's like overall it is, I never feel great about missions.
No. And like, I'm sure they do some good for people, but it's like, Lisa's like, he's going to help people. And I'm like, he's going to convert them to this religion that's like actually unhit. I'm sorry to any Mormons listening, but like, listen, I'm not pro religion, okay? I'm going to shame everybody's religion at some point. Just get used to it. But like, it's fucking bullshit. It's like some dude that was just like, I'm just gonna make Mormonism. And then everyone's like, okay. And then he was like Heather's husband's like grandfather. That's the history of Mormonism. Don't see Book of Mormon. I just gave you the full history.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert on Mormonism.
Yeah, I mean,
Fudge college.
I feel like
honestly.
it's kind of like run of the mill for Utah. Um here, okay. Here's the reason why I at least support that he's not going straight to college, because at least a year or two ago, whatever season it was, she was like, "You have to start getting ready for college." He's like, "I'm not going to college." Like
Fudge college.
yeah. And as a former high school teacher, I had a big issue with people like forcing college down everybody's
Yeah.
throat when like
I agree.
college is such a financial burden to take on that if you aren't motivated to do it yourself or be successful in it, it is just a massive debt that you're taking. So like
I have a lot of thoughts on college. Like
same,
a lot of them. And they're all
same.
bad. Other than like if
Yeah,
you're a doctor or a lawyer or like whatever. But yeah, I'm not really pro college. Which
I
sounds
agree.
crazy to say out loud, but there's reasons.
Yeah, I could do a whole podcast on
Oh yeah. You are coming from a different place as me because you are in the education system and I just have just insane thoughts. But like, yes,
I bet you there's a lot of overlap.
maybe. Probably.
So yeah, at least he isn't just going to college for the sake of like that's what's supposed to be the next step.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I'm
But
sure he'll do well. And I'm sure some people will be like, I don't want to be Mormon. And then he's not going to convert that many people. And it's all going to be fine. He's going to like soak all over the place. It's going to be great for him.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to definitely practice soaking in whatever country he ends up in.
All right, next.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, so yeah. Let's talk about this new lady. What's her name? Monica?
you know I'm not good at this.
I know. I don't know why I asked you. I think her name is Monica. She
Is it Jen
is
Shah's old assistant for a day?
Yes. So the ghost of Jen Shah, I named our podcast today The Ghost of Jen Shah because the ghost of Jen Shah is running deep. She is haunting this entire episode and probably the rest of the season. We can't go 5 minutes without talking about Jen Shah. Heather has a complete different like narrative about herself being like, I could never be honest with Jen because she was going through so much. I'm like, no, 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 no. You were like, I'll visit Jen Shah in prison and I love Jen Shah. I'm ride or die. I'm ride or die for Jen Shah. I love Jen Shah. So let's not with the revisionist history. Heather, we can roll the tape back.
She
Uh,
chose death. She did not chose ride. She chose
yeah, I
die.
guess she chose die. Um, and but we have a new housewife
Hmm.
who I think his name is Monica. I'll know it by next week. Uh, and she was Jen Shah's assistant for.
A short amount of time before she
Well, I'm
called a
confused.
Secret Service agent.
I'm confused about this whole timeline because she apparently talked to Lisa Barlow on the phone multiple times because Jen Shah got tired of listening to Lisa speak and handed the phone to this person to, I don't know, was she imitating Jen and pretending that she was Jen on the phone? Was she just saying like, uh-huh, and Lisa didn't notice? Did
Well,
Lisa know
because
it was her?
Lisa said, like, oh, we've talked on the phone before.
Yes. But why are you, if I'm Lisa and I'm just talking, yapping to Jen Shah, and then she's like, here, talk to this person. And then like it happens every time. I would just stop calling Jen Shah. I'd be like, I don't want to talk to this random person.
Well, we've had a long running, like, joke insight that, like, Lisa Barlow will talk to anyone who will listen to
Right.
her. Remember, like,
Well,
Heather
right.
last season when they were in those, like, little cars? She's like, yeah, I got in a car with
Yeah.
Lisa because I knew I wouldn't have to talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which is why I also just love Lisa. Um, I don't know. This was weird, but yeah, she said Jen Shah asked her to put a bunch of things in her name, so I'm assuming like business documents or whatever. She
Hmm.
felt iffy about it, and then called her friend that just happens to be the Secret Service, and it was like Jen Shah's getting arrested in 2 months. Like she got arrested, or like get away from her, and then in 2 months she was arrested, and that's how she
Hmm.
became a witness in Jen Shah's trial. Which like that part was the most shocking part to me, that she was a witness.
Is there any chance that someone in Jen Shah's camp sends like a cease and desist to Bravo because she is still like the center point of this season of Housewives so far
I
in one
would.
episode.
If
And
I'm Coach Shah, I'm like, get my fucking wife's name out of your fucking mouth. Don't mention it. Bleep it out like you did with Catch on Real Houses of New York.
yeah, a restaurant gets more respect than
Yeah,
Jen
then Jen
Shah.
Shah.
um,
I don't know. It's weird. She was running rampant throughout the whole thing. Mary Cosby,
yeah.
I mean, Mary Cosby clearly was rooting for her downfall. But
Hmm.
she also called Heather out and was like, "No, Heather, like you were on the train, you were on the ride. You
Yeah.
loved every second of it." So I appreciated that from Mary.
I did like how Monica, I guess that's her name for now, said
Her name.
that Jen Shah never said anything nice about Heather, but she never said anything nice about anyone. So
Yeah, which I
I
believe.
I kind of like this Monica so far. For someone
I
new,
feel
it
iffy.
could be a lot worse for
Oh
a
yeah,
first episode.
it could be a lot worse. I think she's been going off on social media, which like I
I
don't love.
saw a
It's
long
only been one
comment.
episode. Yeah,
Yeah,
like we don't
easy.
need
And
to
it was
do
about something
this.
stupid. So, like Lisa Barlow being like, I wouldn't have been able to pick her out of
Yeah, because she
the
looks
lineup.
different.
Yeah.
Because she had blonde hair and lighter skin. So then she like was like, yeah, Latino people, their skin changes, and I was like, what? Listen, whatever. I don't know. The whole thing is just I dyed my hair, and then she said something about like, oh, your best friend cuts hair. Don't they know that? I'm like, what is this rant? I don't even know what's
Yeah.
happening here.
I stopped reading. I
Yeah,
skimmed all the
I
capital
skimmed.
letters,
There were a lot of
really.
capital letters. Yeah,
But
we'll
for
see.
for a first episode, I didn't hate I thought she at least like brought worthwhile
Oh, she's gonna bring
commentary.
stuff for sure. She's bringing stuff. So
She's almost like a younger Heather Gay in a way though. I don't know if like
oh,
it's so if you think about it, she was explaining, well, I'm a single mom and I got
mm-hmm.
excommunicated from the church and
Oh, that's
like
true.
she as a mother of all daughters, just like Heather, and
That's
like
true.
there's the kind of like that same bluntness of like in the confessionals and like the jabs in a way. I don't know. I just it was like this is kind of Heather Gayish.
Yes, her whole storyline is Jen Shaw, just like Heather
Yeah.
Gay.
Also, well, I guess we'll need to meet Monica's cousin next season then.
Yeah, I guess so. I just don't. I don't know what to expect yet, and I don't. want to hear about Jen Shah anymore. She's in jail.
Right,
She's in
right,
prison. She's in straight up prison. I don't need to hear about her anymore. She shouldn't be the focus of the show. And if she is still the focus of the show while in prison, then like maybe the show's not that good. I don't know.
right.
I don't know. But we open this show. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but we open the show with like this
I
clip
hated
of
it.
hated it. And I don't, you might have seen it on Twitter, but Queens of Bravo posted and was like, I have chills. And I retweeted it and I was
Yeah.
like, this is a clip show of the only interesting things that are about to happen on this season. And they all speak in vague speak and they will never tell the truth about anything. They all cover for each other in these weird ways. And we're never going to find out what actually happens with anything, just like the black eye. So I'm not buying into like Heather freaking out. Do I like seeing production barge into someone's room? Yes. But like, are we ever going to get anything else from Heather? I don't think so. I have no faith.
I feel like we hated it for different reasons because I
Oh,
hated that everything was masked behind like different Bible
yeah, like what
quotes.
was that?
Yeah.
What that was so weird too. The whole thing is weird.
Yeah, I was like, this is if I wasn't watching the show to podcast about, or like this was my first time, like, oh, I heard Salt Lake City was good. Let me watch the first episode. And it starts off with like John 3:16 or whatever being quoted.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Yeah, like what's
what
happening?
is this? Um,
Yes.
and I know that Salt Lake City is like their kind of niche is like religion is
Mhm.
a large undertone to a lot of things that happen. Um, but to just start off with that, I was just like, oh, all right,
Yeah.
sick. Can't wait. And then I didn't even realize that like the Heather thing like wasn't a flashback to when she got the black eye. I was like, "Oh, this is new
Yeah.
that she's hiding something else?" Oh, it
Yeah, something else she doesn't want to put on
took me a
camera.
second, and I even watched the fucking clip that Queens of Bravo put out, and it didn't even, like it just up and over my head the
Yeah.
first time, and it was while watching the second, I'm like, "Oh, we have something else Heather Gay is gonna be
I
hiding.
can't do
Cool.
it. I can't do it. She's
Great."
already trying to hide it from production while she's mic'd up. Like this is not it's not boding well for us is basically how it feels right now.
Yeah.
But I will say, even though I've done nothing but actually complain, I was entertained by the episode.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad episode. I just think
Mhm.
the issue right now with Salt Lake City is we really haven't gotten the break we need from Salt Lake City.
Yeah. It's just been too much.
And
I also
especially when you keep bringing Jen Shah back in the first
yes.
episode when I mean, think of what other housewife in their first season gone from their city is getting as much name or as many name drops as Jen Shah did this first episode. I
I
don't
hate
even
to
think
say it.
Teresa did.
No, well, because they paused the show while she was gone.
Right, true.
I was gonna say I hate to say it, but this would be what will happen if Teresa's ever gone from the Real Houses of New Jersey. Is that she will live on through the women.
Yeah,
She will not be off the show forever. Jen Shaw
right.
has very Teresa energy, even though I like Teresa and I don't like Jen.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. I will say, I do feel like some of the most unhinged editing I've ever seen was during that snowball fight of like slow mo tackling each other and like weird, it felt like weird circus music. I was like, what am I actually watching right now? I was like laughing and then I was like, is this really happening? Like, what are they doing? This is so ridiculous. The editors,
Mhm.
what are you guys doing? This is so weird.
They're trying to mix it up for us.
I
They know
guess
we're in a weird
so.
place with Salt Lake City.
I guess so. We didn't get a lot of Whitney this episode.
Just fine.
Mhm.
We don't necessarily need a lot of Whitney.
Agreed.
Yeah,
I
I
the
thought
last
like
thing I'll
Lisa was great.
Lisa was
That's
great. She was very great. I think so. Matt, my partner, makes fun of me all the time because I order two drinks. I order a Diet Coke and then an alcoholic beverage, usually, if we're out to
mhm.
dinner. And Lisa did the same thing. She ordered a Diet Coke and a Vita cocktail. And I was like, this is why she's my kindred spirit of like a housewife. I love Taco Bell and I love fine dining. Hey, guess what? Me too. I love a Diet
Same.
Coke and an alcoholic beverage. Hey, guess what? Me too. So we were watching it together and I was like, see, Lisa does
I have
it.
a Diet
Yes.
Coke and an alcoholic beverage right now.
Hello, me too. I also have a Diet Coke and an alcoholic beverage. Here, this is proof that it's an alcoholic beverage. I just poured it into a cup. So we're related, we're all relatable with Lisa, or Lisa's relatable to us.
I did think it was weird that she ordered a Vita cocktail
She
because
does
it's
this
like,
every season, and I need to know if there's a follow-up question of like, what are you talking about?
so
What
as you
cocktail?
know, Lavelle sells gin and vodka for
Yes.
Vusa and Bayab, which are available in New York City. So if you are
Oh.
there, you can purchase it. It is African based, black owned. There's a little plug.
Oh.
So Lavelle, don't say I don't do anything for you,
You
but
should drop it in the show notes.
I should. Um, the only thing that would make sense is from what I understand about his stuff is like getting menu placement can be difficult. So like when it's specifically like this drink is only not only made, but like it's
Like a
when you order
sponsored.
it, the default is
Yeah.
in this case like Vita vodka or whatever she has, tequila, right? It's tequila, I
Tequila.
think, because Mary said that she's killing everybody with tequila. Um, so if they're going places where like there is one drink that has Vita, then like ordering the Vita cocktail, that would make sense to me based off what I've learned in the last year. But
Yeah.
otherwise, it makes no sense because I just don't believe that that's it.
She does this at every restaurant that she eats out at on every season. And she's like, I'll take a Vita cocktail. So I have to imagine the waiter is like, what fucking cocktail do you want, bitch? What are you talking about? Do you want just a cocktail with Vita tequila in it? What's the cocktail? Like, there has to be
Yeah.
some follow up question of like, what cocktail do you want? Because it's not on the menu of every restaurant to say Vita cocktail. Like, you have to know what it is.
I also know another trick is if you mention the brand 3 times that it's a lot easier to expense the meal. So maybe that's mention number 1.
How do they track that?
You
Do you
don't.
just
It's
say,
kind of like you
yeah,
can say like I mean not to expose any secrets, but
no.
if like I go to dinner with Lavelle and we go somewhere where we know that they don't have um the gin and vodka in, he'll be like, "Oh, do you guys have any like African based gins?" And they'll be like, "What? No." And it's like, "Oh." And then so there's like mention 1.
Oh.
And then it's also kind of used as like a conversation point.
Oh, see, this is nothing shady.
No. But could that be what Lisa is doing so she can write off? Like, well, I mentioned it
Maybe.
once. I just have to, can I get a refill on my Vita cocktail?
Yeah, can I get another
There's
Vita
2.
cocktail? And then we saw Monica drinking it and she was like, this is good. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
everybody's drinking his Vita cocktail here.
Hmm. So maybe that's it. Maybe she's just trying to be able to expense the meal. And it's
Perhaps.
through Vita.
Perhaps, yeah. Um, Angie K is back from last season.
Yes.
And the only thing I have nothing to say about her personally, but when she got out of that car and walked into that restaurant wearing a crazy ass outfit of like bright pink and huge glasses in the middle of the day, I was watching it and I was like, imagine dining in a restaurant and seeing this just walk in front of you. Like, this is a spectacle. It's a spectacle. And then, like, Lisa came in like black leather pants and a black shirt. I was like, see, this is what a normal person dresses like when they're not
Hmm.
trying to make a spectacle of themselves. Who has,
Correct.
like, probably has money. She just looked insane to me. Insane.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I have nothing to add to that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Uh, yeah. Yeah.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your excitement level for the rest of the season based off of this first episode?
I'm not super excited. There's things I'm excited about. I'm excited to see Mary be kooky, crazy, weird. I love Lisa as much as I don't like, I was a Lisa Stan publicly on this podcast before, and I will be a Lisa Stan again publicly on this podcast again. Um, and she can do no wrong in my eyes. I say that now, but she will eventually do wrong in my eyes. So I'm excited about like, that, but I don't care about Heather. I don't need more Jen. I'm not bought into whatever this secret is that we got to flash forward to before. I'm at a 4.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
going to give it a 6 because it's like in some schools that's failing, in other schools it's not. So it's like
Mm.
a borderline, depends on where you're at.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sticking with my 4, I think. I just there's room to grow. Let's just say that. There's
Okay.
room to grow. Yeah.
I do have to ask a favor. Can you set up whatever we're talking about next? I need 30 seconds to run out of the room.
Yes, absolutely.
God, check on Nitro. I'm hearing weird noises.
Oh, Nitro.
I'm sure he's
Yes.
just being a doofus and I'm overreacting.
Well,
But
prioritize Nitro above
I
everything.
will listen though. I've got
Okay,
the headphones on so I can hear everything. I'm just gonna mute.
go for it. I will set up the Real Houses of New Jersey reunion, and Carrie, as a surprise, watched The Pass, a Todd and Candy Tucker Burris film. She's going to give us a review. I have not watched it. So this will all be, and I don't know anything about it other than the trailer. So Carrie's going to give us a review. But we'll start with the reunion. And my biggest takeaway is that Andy Cohen was like a total clown this whole episode. It was like he was so unserious the whole time. It started with him meditating, he was banging a gong, he was like being very jokey and friendly, and I'm not saying he was unprofessional, but he was not professional with the women. So it was very interesting. And getting that vibe from him, because I feel like he's usually a little like more reserved on reunions than he was on this one. I also made the mistake of watching it on Peacock. Maybe it was not a mistake, but I felt like it was a mistake because it was extended and uncensored, which the uncensored doesn't grab me the way that like I expect it to.
I love
It
hearing a
feels
good
jarring
F
to
bomb
me.
of the housewives though,
Me
when we're
too,
used
but
to
I always
getting
find it
them.
jarring.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh yeah, this is uncensored.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they're cursing. I guess this is the uncensored version. And it seemed like it was extended. And I was watching it and I was like, I've been watching this already for 45 minutes and it's still going. Like, how is it still going? And I checked and I was like, oh, there's still like another 15 minutes left of this. How? It felt long.
There was just a lot of yelling that didn't need to be in there that I'm
Too
hoping that they
much.
cut for the TV version of it.
Yeah,
Um
too much.
I
Indecipherable yelling.
That's the issue. I don't mind when they get loud with each other if I'm able to tell what's being said, but when like
Yeah.
4 of the 6 women on the stage are yelling at each other, it's just loud noises. I felt like Brick
Yes.
from Anchorman just like trying to be along for the ride.
Yes, I agree with you. It didn't feel, I don't know. It felt like a low budget version of a reunion to me. Usually I feel like Andy would be more like, stop, we need to get to the next question. He was just kind of like letting them yell. He like didn't really interrupt. It didn't seem like there was that much that he wanted to cover or address. It just didn't feel as buttoned up as a normal reunion to me.
It might just be because like what is there to cover from this season?
I don't
The first
know.
third of it was about people being shot at Candy's restaurant, and then after that I'm drawing a blank, like Drew's
The
divorce, and we're gonna have a
movie?
whole segment on that.
Yeah, I don't know. Marlo and this guy that she's hanging out with.
But even that wasn't like a major storyline.
No, I don't know. Sonya's family. I mean, Courtney, the fake cousin. I don't know. The
We
whole thing
got
was weird.
If we had the type of content that we had in the last 20 to 25 minutes of the last episode throughout the entire season, like it would be
Hmm.
a season worth talking about. But I'd rather
Yes.
go back and talk about those last 25 minutes because that's really like the only place we got things. Instead, you have Candy still yelling about She by Sheree, and you have Sheree printing out pamphlets
Okay,
of.
that was funny to me.
It was funny. I wish like we got to see what was in it.
Me too. Why are they not zooming in on every page? But then Andy Cohen was like, on page 6, I was like, oh, there's more than 6 pages of this. I thought it was just like one one open fold.
There's someone who didn't get paid to make that for her. There's someone still
Well,
waiting for
someone
their
said on
payment.
Instagram, the person who did the runway show, that she got paid.
Oh, good.
That
One
was
for
she brought
whatever.
that print out.
Hmm.
Sheree. I didn't realize that Sheree and Candy hated each other now. Did you? I thought they were cool.
I feel like they probably have like a deep rooted respect for each other in terms of like being around for however long, but don't get along anymore.
It felt like venomous fighting this time between them, which
Yeah.
to the lengths between the two of them I've never seen before. And Candy was activated.
Yeah. I mean, they both just take like unnecessary shots at each other
Yeah.
to like if Candy were to let the She by Sheree stuff go, I feel like a lot of it would be let go. But then like Sheree's trying to compare one of Candy's businesses where it's like meant to basically be like cheap fashion for people to buy and comparing it to her like $275 screen sweatshirt, and it's like, well, why do you need to bring this? It's not even comparing apples and oranges, it's comparing like apples and giraffes. Like there's really a stark difference between the two, and I don't know, it just a lot of it, like what they're yelling at each other about and taking shots about and taking so personally, it isn't even like that deep.
What do you mean? Big face, small face? Big face, small face, you still can't sit with me is not deep to you? I
My
like that
bad.
Andy Cohen was like, why do you keep saying big face, small face?
Yeah.
And she's like, swollen or not swollen, you still can't sit with me. And I was like, thank you for clarifying because I have no idea what she was talking about, but she just kept
Yeah.
saying big face, small face. No, maybe it's because I'm an unapologetic Sheree stan, but she did kind of have a point that the clothes in Candy's business are also from Shein, or however you say it,
Mhm.
and AliExpress for like $10, and she's charging $75 for them in the store,
Oh,
which is
she is?
exactly, yeah, that's what she was showing on her. It was
Oh,
blurred
I didn't see
out, but
that.
that's what she was showing on her She News, which, like, make that an email and I will subscribe. I will get it in my inbox as often
And
as
I
you want to
won't be
send it.
able to
I want
unsubscribe.
She News. Yeah, you will not. I know you won't have an unsubscribe button, but I still want it in my email. No, but that's what she was
I didn't
alleging about
realize
Candy's
that.
business. But it is different. I mean, Candy was like, yeah, it's a store that sells clothes. It's not like I'm not a fashion designer. But
Right.
like, is Sheree a fashion designer? No, I just, yeah. Candy's very, very like hung up on this She by Sheree thing for some reason.
She needs to let it go. Everybody
Let
needs
it
to let it
go.
go.
Let it go.
Everyone. I'm so sick of it. And
Yeah.
then, yeah, there was so much yelling. And that was it. But that's what happens when you have all of them in the same room together,
I
which
know.
like I understand why they did the after show, which there was an after show for the reunion, by the way.
Oh, I'll have to watch it. It
Um
didn't autoplay for me. It went immediately to the past, which I just obviously didn't watch.
I did.
I know.
I put in the time, the
I
effort.
can't wait. Should we? Is there anything else about the reunion that we have to say? I mean, like, it just was kind of. Marla's on Ozempic. She looks great,
Mhm.
but she's on Ozempic. We covered a lot of ground in one reunion episode. We shoved everything in, but I have like no takeaways from it at all that are interesting, other than the
No.
blank subpoena that
Yeah,
Kenya.
that was there's too
I was
many
like,
props.
ma'am, you know,
This
way too many props.
and that's kind of like what's annoying to me because old school, not even old school, but like 5 seasons, I don't know what season we're in, whatever. But, like, there are plenty of seasons of Atlanta where, like, the reunion's the best episode because you have these, like, in the moment, like, reads of each other and the shade
Yes.
being thrown, and instead, like, you're showing up with pamphlets or blank subpoenas or, what did Drew throw?
A
Like, a
plum,
plum?
which I don't even understand. I don't
Is it
even
because it's, like,
understand.
adjacent to a peach? I'm not
But
even
it's
sure. Like,
not.
it's
But it's
not
like
even a peach?
it's
Like,
not a pea. It just has a pit. I
I
don't
don't
know.
even
Maybe
know.
they're in the same family. But like, I was like, why is she throwing a plum? And then Andy was leaning too into the clownery of it all for me, and I feel like he
Yeah.
contributed to it feeling weird
Yeah, like, he
because
gets
he
up and
ate the
hits a
peach, he hits a
gong
gong,
and
he loves the props. I'm like, this feels unorganized.
yeah, there's too many props where the seasons past, the entertainment came out of, like, the quick-witted
Where
responses
is
and
your
the banter
scooter?
back and forth. So, yeah.
Where is your scooter?
And we even got a
I don't
Phaedra
know.
mention this,
We did. We did. And a flashback of the guy that sued Candy, and Phaedra was his lawyer.
yep.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I was surprised that that came up. But let's talk about the past.
Okay,
I
I'm
want to know. I'm
ready.
dying to know more.
Okay, so am I allowed to, like, talk about what happens? Like, do you care
Yeah,
if I spoil this
I
movie?
definitely don't care. But spoiler alert for anyone that does care. The next
Hopefully
5
no more than 5 minutes.
minutes. We'll be talking full spoilers. I will be reacting in real time. I don't know anything about this movie, but Carrie watched the whole thing.
Yeah, and I don't even
So just
watch
skip ahead
movies. I
5 minutes
saw
or
2 movies
so.
this week. That's more movies than I saw in the last calendar year. Is
Honestly, I'm
I saw
impressed.
2 movies in 24 hours,
Whew,
and one of them
that's an
was
undertaking.
it's called Candy Burris and Todd Tucker's The Pass. Like, that's the title of it.
I know when it started auto playing on Peacock, that's what it said candy. And I was like, this is true. I can't. That's
If
what
there's
like their
anything I
steakhouse
learned,
is called.
yeah, from, like, volunteering in politics is how important name recognition is, and I just didn't know that it carried over to your, straight to streaming movies that were
Well, Tyler
created in
Perry
your own
does that, I
bedroom.
think. I think Tyler Perry does that, and we know Todd is taking a lot of his cues from Tyler Perry, or at least he does sometimes. I don't know, but
Alright, so here is the premise of this. You have this,
mm-hmm.
on verge of becoming incredibly successful, but already very successful, um, interior designer. That's Drew. But I forget what her name is in the movie. So
It's just Drew. Yeah,
it's
it's fine.
Drew. Well, if there's something that okay, let me get into this first before I get into the movie. From watching the movie, I am now 100% confident, not that I wasn't like in the 90s% confident before this, that Drew is just straight up acting on
Oh
Real Housewives of
yeah.
Atlanta
I
because
mean, they called her out for being such a liar on the reunion.
yeah.
Like they were like, "You lie about everything." Yeah.
But there's like no difference in Drew in Atlanta on Real Housewives of Atlanta as there is in like Drew in this movie, where like Candy was in the movie, but Candy is not the greatest actress. I love my girl Candy, but
I'm
it's
shocked.
it's
I, for
like
one, am shocked.
there's a distinct difference between Candy the actress and Candy on Real Housewives of Atlanta, where the Drews are interchangeable of it all.
So does that mean she's a
So
good actress or she's a bad actress just playing herself?
honestly, it's probably up to the viewer in
Okay.
terms
Okay.
of um what you view in Drew's acting abilities. But so yeah, it took me a little while to not see her character as Drew because they were just
Yeah. The
one and the
same.
same for me. Um so Drew's mother, very rich. Drew is a trust fund baby in this. So like
Was she played by
her
Mama Joyce?
okay, no, but I think Mama Joyce was in the movie as a lawyer, and I just didn't
No.
follow it up. If you wanna Google that, you can.
Okay, I'm
But
looking at the IMDb right now for the pass.
I think she was, like, a lawyer or a judge or something. If it wasn't, it was someone that looked a lot like Mama Joyce.
I can't. Okay, I'm looking.
Um, so Drew's mom in this movie is, like, very critical of the man that Drew has married, her husband. They've been married for 7 years.
Okay.
So it just feels like it parallels a lot of like Todd Tucker's life.
It sounds like it.
Like it sounds like we weren't writing a fan fiction. We were writing a nonfiction here. Um, so Drew's husband, his best friend is Drew's boss. She is a woman who is a minimum of queer, a maximum of a lesbian, somewhere in
Oh,
this
okay.
spectrum of things. So like
Okay.
um I don't want to like
Her
make the wrong
boss.
assumption. Yeah, so
Okay.
Drew's boss, but he's or she is also Drew's husband. I forget his name in the movie. Let's call him Fred. Um
Sure.
his name might
Maurice?
actually be Fred. Maurice, there you go. I was not
I'm
even
looking at the
close.
IMDb. That's the only
Thank
reason.
you. You know I'm not good at names. So Maurice's best friend is Drew's boss.
Okay.
And so we get this setup of like Drew's mom doesn't approve of Maurice, thinks he's not good enough for her. Maurice tries to do everything right, and it seems like he is an amazing husband through and through. There's no point in this movie you have any reason to doubt that like Maurice isn't a great husband, and it's just the mom overreacting.
Mm.
And
Sounds like it's written from experience.
that's what I was thinking through the whole thing. So Maurice goes out with his friends, and his friends bring up like, "Oh yeah, I have a hall pass, and I used it, but like, no, my wife doesn't have it." So then,
What the fuck is that?
a hall pass?
No, how can no? But how can you have a hall pass but your wife doesn't?
Well, that's the next part. So Drew's out with the girls, including her boss,
Okay.
Candy. Candy is the wife of the
Of the guy.
relationship of the who got the hall pass.
Okay.
And then there's another woman who's like, so basically there's like three couples and then Drew's boss.
Okay.
So um so in the girls conversation, Candy was like, "Oh yeah, I use my hall pass with my neighbor, but my man doesn't know," or something like that. So like Candy, yeah. Yeah.
I think that's just cheating, but okay.
So Drew is hearing this, Maurice is hearing this. They're so like they come together for like Drew and Maurice sit down and have this nice dinner, and Maurice is like, "So, Candy and her husband did this hall pass thing, and they're like couple goals, so maybe we should do that." And Drew is like, I don't know." So then Drew gets offered this like big once in a lifetime opportunity to decorate a famous person's restaurant as an interior designer, and they're
Was it
having like a
called OLG
no, it
or
wasn't.
Blaze Steakhouse
No one was shot there either. Um,
that we know of?
TBD. But
Yeah, TBD.
so before everybody comes over to have this like nice dinner and celebrate, Drew goes to Maurice like, "Okay, you know what? You can have the hall pass." And
Just
because like,
him.
well, he offers it to her as well, and
Okay.
she's like, "But I don't really want to sleep with any other man, so like I'm not going to take you up on it, but I'm going to LA for this work trip. Like you go and sleep with someone during this, and here's the rules, like no friends, not at the house, like, basic
Sure.
rules, right?" So, um and one of the reasonings was like, we haven't had a lot of sex lately because like Drew's been tired from working so hard and this and that, whatever. So Drew goes to LA, Maurice stays in, I'm assuming, Atlanta. But um so out in LA, we see like things go well. She's with her boss, Drew's best friend, and not Drew's best friend, Maurice's
Her
best
husband.
friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the last night, they're celebrating, they're out at the bar. And the boss is like, "You got to pass. You should be able to like go flirt with that guy, go do what you want, blah blah." And so like Drew gets a drink and she's flirting, dancing, whatever. So we um before like we see what happens with that, like it cuts back to like Maurice at strip clubs, and he's like talking up a stripper. And
Is it Shamia?
um I don't know. I mean, like, I was paying attention, but I was also playing Marble Madness on my phone. So
Understandable. Um, I only asked that because I saw Shamia in the trailer and I know she was at the table read and I think it was Shamia. Also,
okay.
not to interrupt you, on the IMDb, it also says Monyetta's in the movie. So like how many I can't. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Wait, was Mama Joyce in it?
Not that I see, but
Okay.
maybe she just doesn't have an IMDb.
That could be it. um
Oh, Dita West is the mediator. I don't think it's Mama Joyce. I think this is an actual actor. But
no,
I
that's
can
a
see.
different there's a different person. I If the mediator's who I think it is, I don't think we're talking about the same person.
Oh, okay, then I don't know.
Um Okay, so we see Maurice like basically trying to land a stripper to sleep with for the night, and then it cuts back and you see like Drew like leaving the room with the man that she had been flirting with. But then it cuts to her having what seems to me very like weird lesbian sex with her boss. Like just the way
With
that
no explanation?
no explanation. Like she's just fucking her boss. Well, like
She leaves the
I
room
say
with a man and then She ends
It
up
cuts
fucking a
to
woman, and there's
lesbian
no.
sex. Yes. And like the way that this was happening to me, just, I mean, given I've never had sex with a woman, so
Mhm.
I am not the expert in this, but if I'm just gonna say it. If someone's head was moving the way it was near my vagina, the way that this boss's head was moving near Drew's vagina, I would be concerned for physical safety and
Oh
not for
my
pleasure.
god.
I was like watching, so like this is weird. But
Oh my goodness.
it was at that point where I'm like, do I keep going or do I turn this off? And then I decided
Well, you
I'd
have
given
to
too
keep
much
going
time
at
to
that
it. Yeah,
point. How
I
could you
did.
stop at the crazy lesbian sex?
It
Violent.
yeah, it was just like unrealistic to me. But again,
Yeah.
like, who am I to
Well, they
say what
had an intimacy
isn't
coordinator.
realistic? Yeah, that's, well, knowing that there was an intimacy coordinator, is that person also straight and never had sex with a woman?
Well,
Because
this was
it
Todd's
was
vision, remember? He was like, I just see you panning down on the bed and then you're grabbing the sheets. And I'm like, this just sounds like his fantasy movie that he's, I don't know, whatever.
honestly, yes. This did
Yeah.
just seem like a wet dream of Todd's brought to Peacock. So uh Drew comes home and she's feeling guilty about it. And we
Well, she
know
broke
that
a rule of no friends.
no friends. She said she wasn't going to sleep with anyone anyway.
Right, right.
And um, so then we know that Maurice didn't sleep with anybody, but I think
Oh, we
Drew
know
is
that. Okay.
projecting. Yeah, Drew is projecting onto the situation. And so um they're having like their anniversary party, and at the anniversary party, Drew's talking to Maurice. Maurice gets like a picture from a not saved number of like a girl's ass and is like, I miss you. And Drew's like, you did, like, you said you didn't use your pass, you cheated on me, blah, or not cheated, but like, but you lied to me, blah
Yeah.
blah. um and then during this anniversary party, the boss went up to their bedroom and like hid a pair of underwear. um Specifically the underwear of, I kind of skipped this part, but Drew walked in on her boss fucking her assistant, like Drew's assistant.
Like before
Uh,
they had sex
n-
or
After they had
after?
sex for the first time, because,
Oh, there's been multiple instances of them having
well,
sex.
we find out that there is, because so like
Oh,
Drew went to, I think Drew was just like not able to. She just like went to the office partially to see the boss, partially to like get out of the house because you could tell she was uncomfortable about around Maurice, and she walked in on the boss having sex with her assistant, who's also a
was
woman.
it as ridiculous as.
Less ridiculous,
Okay.
less questionable head movements, but
Okay.
um we see like the boss take like the woman's underwear off, and it's like the same pair of underwear that she like hides in.
So it's the other woman's underwear. It's not
Yeah,
even
yeah,
hers.
yeah.
What is this mind fuck that's going on here? This is so weird.
um
Well, Drew must know the assistant because they
yes,
work together.
yes,
Okay.
yes. It's specifically Drew's assistant too. So
What? Okay, that makes
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
even crazier. Like this
Yeah.
lady is mind fucking Drew.
Yes. Just wait. So um
Low key, you're
so
kind of making
the
me want to watch this ridiculous movie.
it's
I
absurd.
didn't expect to feel this way, but this sounds like a train wreck, and now I'm kind of into it.
So while um one of like the running like premises is that for their anniversary, Maurice wanted to like upgrade Drew's wedding ring, and
Hmm.
he was brand new to being a realtor and was working for Drew's mom, and Drew's mom put him on this like big sale, and then she thought he did something wrong, so she took him off, and that money was supposed to buy the ring. So then the boss, his best friend, was like, don't worry fam, I got you. So
No, no, no,
she
no,
buys
no,
this
no.
massive upgraded ring. I think they said the ring cost like, it was either 2 million or 200,000. Regardless, like I think let's say 200,000. I'm pretty sure it's like a stupid cost for the ring, right? And boss was like, "Don't worry fam, I got you."
What?
So Now,
Okay.
wait. So we're at the party, right? And Drew goes upstairs because she's uncomfortable because she's cheated on her husband. But then she like crossed paths with the boss, and we see like cuts to them having had like a little rendezvous in the hallway. It was weird. Like one came up behind the other and they were like turned and like licking tongues. It was
Oh,
wild. But
nice.
um so then after that's when the boss hands the ring off to Maurice and is like, "Here you go, I got you." Maurice gives the ring. Drew's like, "Oh my god, I love it." And then Maurice has to go out of town for a few days. The boss comes over and has sex in
Not in the
their
house.
bed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Breaking
Ah,
rules left and
Drew.
right. Um, and there was so while there, the boss was like, "Whose underwear are these?" And Drew goes into a further spiral, being like, "He's cheating on me, blah, blah." So, like, what's funny is like Drew is projecting all of this shit when she's really the only one who's done any of
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So then she goes and meets up with the girls and is like, "I think that he might be cheating on me. What should I do?" And one of them tries to be reasonable. Candy is like, "Let's cut a bitch," but really, let's put like cameras all in the house. And
Oh, yeah. That's a normal reaction.
I can't remember if the boss lady was there, but um, so Drew gets back to the house and she like calls Candy and is like, "I need help setting up these cameras." So she sets up cameras, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Seems
and
like the logical next step.
yeah. Well, Drew and her and the boss lady like have sex at the house again, right? So
Before the cameras or after?
after the cameras.
Drew,
And
what are we doing here?
right. Um so we're getting towards the end, which I know this has been more than 5 minutes, but
Oh, I'm sad.
uh it what Drew is saying to boss lady, like, "I'm gonna divorce him. I'm gonna divorce him. We have an ironclad prenup. Like, I can be with you." And then at this point, boss lady is like, "By the way,
This
that
boss doesn't
big."
want to be with her.
No. The boss is like, "By the way, that like um that big interior design project, I'm giving it to the assistant." And Drew is like, "That's only because you're fucking her, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah, but
Um,
she's fucking you too, Drew. She's not giving it to
right,
you.
right. Um,
Oh, this
so
boss is an
then
asshole.
Drew and boss are talking at work, and Drew gets served divorce papers at work. And so they go and meet up for their like divorce thing, like
Wait,
their
so
lawyer.
he filed for divorce?
Yes, yes.
Unprompted. We didn't know this was coming.
No, we thought Drew was gonna
Drew
file for
was
divorce.
okay. Sounds like Drew's real life, but okay. Yes.
Again, a lot of parallels.
Yeah, we're taking a lot of things here.
And so this ironclad prenup was to be like, well, if he cheats, then like she doesn't have to split any assets because she's the rich one.
Okay.
If
Oh, she's the rich one. Okay.
yeah,
Right. The mom.
and
Yeah.
if she cheats, then like she has to give him a lot of money. And Drew's like, "I know he cheated, but didn't have like concrete evidence." And then
But he
Maurice is
didn't.
like, "No." And Maurice is like, "Well, I know she cheated," and use the
Yeah,
audio from like the video
hello.
because, and here's the big twist at the end, Maurice, boss lady, Candy,
They're all
and
in
her
on it.
husband. It's all like a Ocean's 11 type of scheme. Like, "Oh, we got her for $9.5 million. We did it. Like, who's our next target?" And Candy has to like marry some old guy in England and she does this British accent. And she's like, "It won't take me 7 years to do it," or something, British. And that's
I
that's
am shocked.
and that's the end of it. They do at the end give like a couple of things like flashbacks to things that we didn't see through the movie that like
Yeah.
kind of help tie some loose ends together, but that's the pass.
I am shocked. I'm shocked that we ended here.
Hmm.
I knew I didn't trust that, but Maurice, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Wow, what an intricate plan for no reason.
Yeah. Right. To get money from this interior designer who is on the
So
come up.
Mama Joyce is right, is the end of this. The long story short is that we should trust Mama Joyce's judgment because
Is
Todd's
that
doing this to Candy. It's the long con.
and well, what's funny is like in the movie, Drew's mom was like, you know what? Maurice was right because like the issue there was Maurice sold the house to a couple, but then the couple got divorced like the day or like separated like the day after Maurice talked to them. And she's like, well, actually, it's the wife with all the money. And then the mom kind of like stormed out or whatever. And Maurice is like, well, he has an offshore account that the wife doesn't know about. So he was ready to pay. And like, so we knew this. And then later on in the movie, Drew's mom is like, you know what? Maurice was right. I found out. I shouldn't have, like, she was like apologetic. So Todd Tucker's parallel version of Mama Joyce apologized to in the movie. She'll never get from Mama Joyce in real life.
No. Wow. What an unhinged story. What goes on in the mind of Todd Tucker? I would love to know. Where do you rate it? Oh, let's see what the Rotten Tomato score is. Is there one?
Something came out today that um Rotten Tomato scores have been altered by like critics who've been paid directly by like the movie people or whoever, that like basically no Rotten Tomato scores from the last 5 years are valid.
Oh, so this 88% audience score, which I'm shocked at, is not accurate, I should say, on
Candy,
Candy.
Candy
Well, there's
Burris.
two. It says one is the pass, and then it says Candy Burris and Todd Tucker's the pass. So that's the one I clicked on. Has 88% audience score with 250 ratings. This is spam. This has to be spam.
I I really need to know if that was Mama Joyce.
Okay, there's one. I'm scrolling quickly. One star review that I've seen so far. Also, all of these are from September 5th. So it's like, okay, are we buying reviews? This movie was low budget. It was obviously about Todd and Candy and Mama Joyce. Todd could have been more creative, and Drew saying she ain't gay, please child, go be bi. And Todd, you need to get film class because this was terrible. Candy and Todd needed to keep their money for real. That's so I take that to be the only true review. And then one person said accidentally left a review, don't know how to delete it. But they still gave 2.5 stars. So
Yeah, I guess if I were to on a 1 to 5, probably
yeah,
like
how
a
many
2.
stars?
Like a
Okay.
2, 2.5, like somewhere in a 40 to 50 range.
How long is it? Is it more
I
than an
think it's
hour
an
and a half?
hour and 40.
Okay, that's too long. It should be an hour and 19 minutes, is what I feel like it should be.
Was she really not in this? I
I think
swore
she
it was
might not
her.
have an IMDb, but I don't see
I'm on
people
her
on here.
IMDb right now.
Mama Joyce?
Yeah. Joyce Jones.
Oh, wow. Oh my God, the pass was outstanding. On the edge of your seat, all around 20 stars. What? What's 20 stars? That's
So
not a
out of
thing.
how many?
Yeah,
100?
wait, what? Okay. Wow. Well, thank you for sacrificing an hour and 40 minutes of your time. If it was an hour and 19 minutes, including credits, I would watch it. But that's a
Yeah.
tall order.
I think I can't
You
remember when
texted
I
me when you
watched
were
it.
watching it. Sunday?
Yeah, and
Monday?
then you replied a little bit later and I had fallen asleep. So it definitely put me into an unnecessary 2-hour nap after I like accidentally fell asleep. One of those like
Yeah.
I kind of curled up in the corner of the sectional and just
I
was
love
like,
that's my
oh
favorite
shit,
nap.
it's 9 o'clock. I just napped for like 2 hours for like the
Hmm.
2 hours before I go to bed. So I'm gonna be up all night. But yeah, I did watch it. I watched 2 movies within 24 hours.
I'm
One was
impressed.
outstanding.
Yeah.
Barbie was great.
I was gonna say Candy Burris and Todd Tucker's The
Yeah,
Pass is
one
the
was
one that was
outstanding and
outstanding.
one was Barbie.
We have to use its proper name. Candy Burris and Todd Tucker's The Pass.
Yes. So that was that. I wasn't expecting the thing at the end. That was just like a whoa.
Yeah, I was genuinely shocked by that
Mhm.
twist. Wow.
I feel like
Wow.
someone was like, Todd, you have to throw in some sort of twist at the end. Otherwise, everyone's going to be
Otherwise,
like,
it's
this
a
is just your
biography.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, totally. Oh, wow. Well, I appreciate your sacrifice.
Yeah, no problem. You get to watch the next one, whatever that
Yeah, I'll
is.
definitely watch the next Housewives film.
We'll
I'll
trade
watch the
off.
next Candy Bars and Todd Tucker feature film straight to streaming for sure. Okay. Well, we still have a lot of Housewives to get to. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. So let's just keep well,
I mean,
before
to
we
be
move on.
fair, there's 4 housewives on right now.
Yes, I saw a tweet saying like this
This
week and
week
next
is
week are the 2 weeks that we get
Mhm.
4 Housewives on at
Yeah.
one time, which is like, it's like an eclipse or something. It only happens every once
Mhm.
in a while. I will say I did think it was interesting that it sounds like Drew only got paid $10,000 for this movie and that she said her agent passed on it because she's in SAG. And I was like, it makes sense. That's what SAG is there for, right? To negotiate contracts for
Yeah.
you. So,
Yeah.
or to like give you a base, a pay scale. Um, which is interesting. $10,000. But let's move right along to Roni.
Yes. I was like,
First cash
right.
trip.
Yeah.
Would you, if you had the option to fly business class or to fly coach with some bitches that you're not even friends with, who are supposed to be aspirational, living in New York with money, yet they're still flying coach on like a 3-hour flight. I don't know where they were going. I don't remember. I'm assuming it's a 3-hour flight.
How do you say that?
Uh,
Anguilla.
Ang-
It's one of the words I can't
Anguilla,
say.
Anguilla,
Like,
Anguilla, whatever. But would you take that opportunity, or would you sit and coach for 3 hours?
I would fly business first class.
Thank you.
I thought, part of the journey is us all traveling together. Bullshit. You
No.
put on headphones and you fall asleep because you probably took a Xanax before.
Yes.
And like,
Which I
that's
would
it.
too. So no
I
judgment.
mean, you hate flying, so
I hate it. Which is why I 1,000% would be like, yeah, I'm flying business class. There's no question about it. If that's an option to me, I'm taking it every time.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that like none of you thought, especially I get that like Sai booked this great place or whatever, but she apparently didn't book you first class.
I don't understand how we're watching these women who are supposed to be rich people and living this lavish life in New York City, and they're not flying at least Comfort Plus. Like, what are we doing? We're flying coach? Fly
Put
Comfort
them
Plus
in
at
exit
least.
row at a
Yeah,
minimum.
hello. Get some extra leg room. Like, what are you guys doing? Flying coach?
Yeah, I fly coach.
If I can avoid it, I will avoid it. I've only not flown coach like 3 times in my life. So I'm not like, and only one time. And it was like nice and it was expensed through work. So like, I get it. But now that I have flown business class, I will truly try my best no matter what I can do to only fly business class.
One of the times as I told you, I worked at a summer camp and like I was one of our main drivers to and from the airport, and I was behind this family of 4 who were flying from JFK to Spain, and the mom turns to the dad and was like, "We're not in first class. Can you see if they'll upgrade us?" And he's like, "Excuse me, how much is it to upgrade the 4 of us to first class?" And the person at the desk is like, $5,400. And the mom turns and goes, "We can do that." I'm like, "Oh my God, what type of humans are you that you could just be like,
for all of them,
total
I would
for
just put it on my credit
4
card and then
people,
figure it out later.
$5,400 to upgrade 4 people to first class." And in that moment, I knew I was never gonna make it. But
Well,
anyway, yeah.
They are probably putting it on their credit card.
Yeah.
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 Which, like, I would consider because I have a problem. I mean, flying is just so anxiety ridden for me that I would do anything to be more like chill. But yeah, no, my job paid for it.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
But Jenna Lyons has money. And so, I mean, could you imagine being Jenna Lyons and coach?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm embarrassed for these women that they're not also flying first class. This is what I'm like we have the Lisa Vanderpumps and the Kyle Richards and whoever, as much as I don't like most of them, they're flying in private jets to places like this. And these
I
bitches are
was
flying
thinking
coach.
that. I was thinking
Like,
that. I'm like,
really? You're on Delta coach.
the fact that they were making a scene when like so many other cities of housewives like that, oh, we're on a PJ, we're on the PJ.
Yes. This is like, I'm like, ladies, come on. What are we doing here?
They're reaching for something to be mad at her about. And also, it's just ugly because first of all,
Do a
hold on.
shot. Valencia needs to do a shot anytime Carrie mentions summer
The
camp.
C word at my house, at my parents' house is
Is
not.
camp?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Um so anyway, Valencia, we're
This one
enemies
time at
right now.
summer camp.
Yeah. I didn't fuck a flute. It's fine. So, um, anyway, what I was saying was that I completely forgot. Oh, the fact that like they're kind of using this as to like
Yeah.
be mad at her when they're not taking the time of day to give her any respect for like her insecurities in
Yeah.
terms of that's also, I think, if it's not as ugly, it's uglier than the like making a big scene that she watched, or not she watched, that she flew down coach, or not coach,
Yeah,
business,
I
whatever,
agree
you know what
with
I'm trying to
you.
say.
Whatever. But like even on those flights, those small flights, first class is like it's not like she's laying down on the plane. You know, like I don't know. It feels to me like it's jealousy. It feels like they're really harping on the fact that she's successful and has money and they maybe aren't as successful and don't have as much money. And it just feels mean-spirited. Like I think a lot of the stuff that went on with Jenna. I was talking Matt, my partner, as everybody knows now if you've been listening to this, and we were watching it together, and he was like, "I don't like this because it's not fun drama, it's like mean." And it
Mhm.
did feel mean. Like she had a legitimate
Mhm.
reason that she wanted to go down early, although she could have gotten a spray tan, less UV rays, less of like sun exposure. You should have gotten a spray tan, Jenna, I will say. But like I get it. She wants to go down, she wants to acclimate. It's fine. I wouldn't. Here's the thing. She doesn't know these women. We're
Right.
pretending like these women are actually friends and they're not. They just got cast on a show together. They're all just meeting probably for the first time. I don't want to travel with people like that if I have anxieties about anything. Like let me go, get my bearings, let me chill. I need to like get familiar with my surroundings and then I'll show up. Should she have been there maybe earlier or like at the house waiting for them when they showed up? Probably because she did miss like a whole day of them like picking their rooms.
Mhm.
That I would say like, okay, yeah, you should have been there while I got there. But I do feel like Erin also kind of misconstrued their conversation.
Yeah.
Like she didn't
It was.
come out with like the meat of it first. She was just
Yeah.
like, yeah, she just said she didn't want to fight coach. Ugh, what a bitch. I hate Erin.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Karen in the
Ugh.
slightest. I just think that, like, I don't know. They obviously, like, can't take this perspective on the show, but the fact that someone with the success
Yeah.
as that Jenna Lyons has, the money that she has, for her to come be a real housewife, but then also be vulnerable enough to be like, I'm on my 13th surgery to
Yeah, look
fix
at
my
my
teeth
fucking teeth.
because of this,
Look at my
like,
jaw.
genetic disease. I don't have hair. I have these like splotches on my skin, and I'm just doing this for me to make me feel comfortable so that I can participate with you. Like, she doesn't need this money. She doesn't need Real
No.
Housewives money. She doesn't need Real Housewives fame. So for whatever her motivation is to be on this show, and then the idea is like, you know what? We're gonna fly to a foreign ass country and take her down. Like, who the fuck are you? Just she doesn't.
Yeah.
If I was her, I would be like, I am Jenna fucking Lyons. I am going home first class. Bye. Like, see ya. But I also,
Yeah.
as a person, just hate to travel with anybody who is like, no, we have to do everything this way. Cause
Yeah.
I'm very
Me
much
too.
like my beat, my drum, I'm going
Yep.
deuces. But I mean, she doesn't for the sake of the show, she's answering to these women, but I would not blame her in the slightest if within this cash trip, she's like, I don't need to answer to you. Like, you are peasants in comparison to me. If she ended up
I wish
hulking
she
out,
would. I wish
I
she
would be like,
would.
I support it.
I would stand. She could punch my stand card. I just
She's trying so hard to be liked by them, and I just, like I hate that you're putting me in a position where I have to, like, feel bad for the, like, richest person in the room.
Yeah, I agree. And I just don't like, here's the thing. If Jenna Lyons wasn't on this show, no one would give a fuck about this show. Like,
Right, she is
and no
carrying
one
it.
wanted the reboot. No one wanted it. Then we saw, okay, Jenna Lyons is going to be on it. That's interesting. She's famous. Then it was like, oh, they fired someone, whatever. Okay, we'll watch it the first time. And like, she was the most compelling one. There are characters on the show, sure. But like, we haven't even seen Bryn's fucking apartment. And we've
Mhm.
seen multiple photos of Jenna's jaw surgery. We found out that her
Right.
name came from her brother calling her Jenna genitalia. We've heard about her genetic disorder. Like, what are you guys giving us? Because I'm getting nothing. All I hear from Sai is that she's a fucking influencer, and I don't give a fuck about it. Oh,
And
you're
she's hungry.
hungry and you're fucking thirsty too, bitch. Okay, how about that? Like, fuck off, all of you.
I would ride
And I
at
don't even
dawn
like
for
Jenna that
Jenna
much at this
genitalia.
point. I like her. Yeah, I would too at this point because I think these girls are being like completely unreasonable and just mean.
Yeah, it was definitely annoying, and I feel like of anybody, she's, like, putting herself out there the most. Like, sure,
I
it was
agree.
annoying that, like, I can't tell you who my girlfriend is, but then, like, her girlfriend ended up breaking up with
Yeah,
her
like 2 episodes
because
later. So
yeah, I don't know. I think that for what we want out of a housewife, like, Jenna's doing a lot in terms of likability, and that the other girls just need to, like, calm down. They're what is why is it
yeah,
that bad? Why ugh.
I yeah, I don't know. It's I just feel like they have nothing and they know they have nothing. So they need to like use this as a pile on tactic and they feel like this will give them a storyline is to like make Jenna the villain. And I just feel like it's very transparent when like realistically Erin is the villain here. Let's all
Absolutely.
just
There's
accept the fact that Erin and Sai are the villains here. Also, Sai complaining about Jenna giving them gifts, like just don't post it. She's not doing it for you to post it. She's doing for it to get on camera. It has nothing to do with posting it. It's she wants it on camera.
yeah, your Instagram is not getting as many views as
As
Roni
the Real
is.
Housewives of New York. Yeah.
And honestly, them calling it out only makes it more prevalent.
Yep. If they didn't say anything about it, I would have never noticed it. And I would
Right.
never like I'm not like out here Googling Jen Alliance collaborations, but I've thought about it. I haven't done it, but I've thought about it. And I would not have thought about it if they didn't call so much attention to it. They're doing more
Mhm.
for her, more promotion for her by complaining about it.
I could also understand, like, having this attitude towards it if it felt like she was using all these gifts as, like, compensation not compensation, but, like, to make up for being, like, a shitty person, but she's been
Right.
so nice to them. Like,
Right.
so nice. And so, again, like, this could be her trying to rebrand her image because we know that we've seen a ton of shit online being like, Jenna Lyons is a nightmare to work for.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jenna Lyons has said that herself. So,
Yeah.
um, I could understand them being like, oh, here she comes again. But like, you're getting a lot of free shit that honestly, just fucking like put it on Facebook Marketplace and sell it. Like if you hate it that
Right.
much, like you
I
can make money
know.
off of this too. Just
Regift
stop
it.
it. Just stop.
Yeah, it's dramatic. I don't feel like we got much else other than like them giving Jenna the kind of worst room. But I also feel like
Yeah.
really she wasn't there. So you get the worst room by default. You weren't there.
And she doesn't have a house in the same town that she can go to this time. But she could go get a hotel. We've seen plenty of
Yes.
housewives do that before too.
It's true. She could pull a what's her name? This the crazy person with the lip licking from Beverly Hills who has a whole staff that goes ahead of her to prep the room.
Oh,
Who's like part of Jeff.
Diana?
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes,
I mean,
yes.
Erica did the same thing too in Beverly Hills. She went and got a hotel one time too.
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah, that's true.
but
So that's Roni. That's where we
the
are.
other thing that I want to mention is like how absurd is it? I hate that I'm like kind of on the husband's side with this just because like I thought it was funny when he's like, "Yeah, I'm basically gonna fly to Vietnam, go get a
To
banh mi
eat a banh mi
sandwich,
sandwich.
and then come back." Like it's a 3-day trip and 1 day is traveling like each way. So He's like gonna get off the plane. She's like, "That's stupid." He's like, "Well, you're going with your friends," and she's like, "You're going for a sandwich."
I mean, there's good banh mi sandwiches in New York City. But
Oh yeah,
whatever.
you're
I mean,
in
I don't know
like
what's going on here. It's a little weird.
yeah. I'm sure that if there's any city in the United States that you can get a good replica of like the native food of a country, New York is the city. So
Yeah.
I will say Chicago is probably second, our food, top
Yeah.
notch.
I'm sure it
Um,
is.
but like and he was also like, "Yeah, the vacation for me is flying. I love flying." Like that's as much of a
I
vacation.
I wish I could sit here and say, I love to do this. I just wish that I could. I want whatever that gene is to say, this is a
Yeah.
vacation to me to fly. I want that. I want to know
Mhm.
what that feels like. But I kind of like Pavitt.
Yeah, I
He's
like him in
weird.
a
I like
way
him.
that it's like I mean, I'm his team with the schooling stuff, and then it's just
Yes.
like him coming at Jessel with just such ridiculous things. I was entertained by that whole
Yeah,
exchange.
I do. He strikes me funny. I enjoy him. And their banter is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no. Erin can go fuck herself. That's where I land on this episode. I'm out on Erin.
I saw so there's a Bravo podcast that's very popular called Watch What Crappens.
Mhm.
I don't often listen to it. I've heard it a few times, but I guess they hate Erin. And she commented on their Instagram or something saying like, why do you guys hate me so much? And they were like, stop listening to this. They responded back and they were like, oh my God, stop listening to this. But she's like, you guys are hilarious. I just wish you weren't so funny so I could hate you too. And I'm just so mortified that like, okay, listen, but like you're commenting publicly on their Instagram, like that's so embarrassing.
Yeah. You're not their like their target audience.
No, I love their response of like, "Oh my God, stop listening to this."
Yeah.
I like that
This
they're not
isn't
like,
for
"Oh my
you.
God, sorry." They were just like, "No,
Yeah.
don't listen."
No, we're gonna only double
Mm.
down in the future.
So, ugh, cringe. She's cringe.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got on
Well,
Roni.
all right. Well, let's wrap up our housewives with Real Housewives of OC. I mean, we're a week late on this one. I think we recorded last Wednesday. Now we're recording Wednesday again, so we're like a week
Mhm.
behind. I think they're live right now, but um, Taylor threw a fall festival, which was fun.
They carved
Heather,
pumpkins, right?
they carved pumpkins and they were literal children about like cutting a hole on the bottom of the pumpkin and sticking. They were like, my pumpkin's
Mhm.
butthole. They were like, yeah, it was a mess.
Also, fall in California can't be like
I can't imagine it.
anything different than it's just like a little bit cooler, but it's not like real fall. It's not like New England Northeast fall where it's like no, there's a substantial change, things get prettier, like
Yeah.
apples grow, pumpkins grow.
Yeah.
This I don't know.
I don't know. Are there seasons in Southern California? I don't really know any. I feel like no. There are seasons in Northern California for sure, but I don't know about Southern.
Yeah, I feel like it's just warm, warmer,
Yeah, and like a little less warm.
warmest, and
Yeah.
then warm.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I like that Taylor. Okay. I'm Let me just talk about Taylor for a second. I'm loving Taylor on Real Housewives of OC, and she was on Watch What Happens Live last night, and she was great. And I need her to be a full time housewife. And she was like shady, and she was like answering questions, and she was like in it. And I really feel like she fits so well in this group. And
Mhm.
she's friends with Shannon because they're always together, they're always posting together on Instagram, and this is
Mhm.
what I need is genuine friendships.
I'd be fine with it. I'm not
Yeah,
like as
get rid
passionate
of
about
Heather,
her,
get rid
but
of Gina, and bring on Taylor. I'm not like obsessed with her, but I just think she's a good fit with the cast. Like, she
yeah.
clearly is friends with them, she knows them, she knows how to be a housewife. This is not as dark as her time on Beverly Hills. Like, let's
Right,
wash that
right.
away. This is just like light fun. You're in a show and you shaded Heather's IMDb and it was funny.
Is this sorry, this is like you said Heather and it made me think of it. Was this the episode where the house sold
I
and we
can't
have
even, I can't, I can't.
when Terry Dubrow is like,
I
this isn't
can't.
just fuck you money. This is whatever
Fuck
is
everyone
the
money or something.
yeah.
How about when he was like G6 baby and then was doing like a dance? I actually almost vomited. And then he said G6 again. He said G6 and then he doubled down and said G6 baby and it made me sick to my stomach. He's
Yeah, I hope
disgusting.
they're not back next season. I think what Heather is good for has like run dry, except for I do appreciate like I think she's a very good mom, but I also think that
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to be a good mom when you have a lot of money. But she
And the
also,
staff, an entire staff to do all
yeah,
the hard stuff.
but she is like, I mean, you could still have a lot of money and like not fly out for parents' weekend or be
Yeah,
as like
yeah.
openly supportive as I think what three of her four children are
I I
LGBTQIA.
think so. At least
I
two, if
at
not
least two.
three.
It might even be three. And she is just like a very strong advocate. Like those, that's where she shines for me. I think it's like great to see that. But we know she's really rich. We know that she like comes in when you come at her with this like very condescending. I don't know, just like let's find someone new.
I hate Heather and Terry Dubrow more than I can. The only people I can't stand more on Bravo, let me think really quickly before I regret what I'm saying, are Melissa and Joe Gorga.
What about Kelly
Heather,
Dodd?
no, I don't hate Kelly Dodd. Kelly Dodd makes me laugh on TV. She's a monster. I've
Hmm.
called on this podcast for maybe a return of Kelly Dodd. She's a
Yeah.
monster. So I can't, I don't like her, but like I loathe her and everything she believes in. But on
Hmm.
television, I find her entertaining. But I
Yeah.
hate Melissa and Joe Gorga the most. And then right almost neck and neck are Heather and Terry.
She can we like divert for a second? Did you
Yes.
see that they were filming at the softball
Ugh.
game again?
I almost, well, I didn't almost go, but my friend was like, should we go to this? And I went to the US Open the day before. And
Hmm.
Coney Island is just far from me. So I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know if I can make it there by 6. And then I did the US Open the night before. So we didn't go. But every year I'm like, we need to go to this.
Yeah.
But we didn't. But I'm tired. I'm over it already. It's the same. It's like rinse and repeat of last season. They filmed also at the Jersey Shore and at
Hmm.
this thing. I'm like, are we really okay? I thought we were changing some things. I thought Andy Cohen was very vocal about making changes. We're just copying and pasting exactly what happened last season onto this season.
Same font. They didn't even italicize,
Yeah.
bold, anything. We should strike
No.
through. That's really what we should be doing.
Yeah. And like Teresa right now is in Switzerland or something. So I'm like, is she not filming? She's in Switzerland with Louis.
I saw something that like her and Jackie are really getting along.
I can't with that.
I
I
don't
saw
know.
Jen Fessler is fighting with Margaret.
Oh yeah, saw that too. I don't know. Not I'm already not looking forward to New Jersey because of that like
No,
one
me
picture I
too.
saw at the softball game.
Me too. And I've always been high on New Jersey, but I can't. I mean, I'll watch and I'll ride for Teresa again if I have to, but I just
Hmm.
can't do this anymore.
Hmm.
And I cannot believe they did not take the feedback into consideration. They
Right.
revamped a whole cast of one of the
Yeah.
most popular housewives because they had one bad season, 1.5, 2 bad seasons. We've had numerous bad seasons of Real Housewives of New Jersey, and they
Yeah.
cannot even be in rooms together, half of them. How are we filming the same season over and over and over again? I don't understand it.
I don't know. It is annoying though. I will definitely say that.
Yeah,
Just listen to us. Give us you don't have to give us
please.
all that we want. Just give us some of what we want.
Yeah. I don't know. Um, Shannon says that she didn't say CPS was coming for Gina's kids when she
And
very
she
clearly did say CPS
yeah.
is coming for Gina's kids. Um, so that's Shannon for you. I really believe she was blackout drunk. I think Shannon gets blackout drunk or like brown out, says things, has no recollection of what she says or does, and then doesn't really know how to face the consequences the next day.
honestly, like, she could get away with it with her drinking problem if she wanted to. Just
Sure.
don't call the people that you film a TV show with. You know what I mean? Like, get
Oh,
other
yeah.
friends. That's
I
it.
don't
You
think
know
she
what?
has
Like,
many
I'll
other
text you my
friends.
number, Shannon. You wanna call me? That's fine.
Oh, please call me. Call me, Shannon, please. I would
It
love it.
could be so much easier if she just, didn't call the same people she's on a reality TV show with.
She does seem difficult to be friends with. So I can understand. I mean, we see her with some other friends, but like mostly her pictures on social media are with other Bravo people. She's very good friends
Mhm.
with Jeff Lewis, who's also kind of a monster. Um, she is always with Tamra again now. She's with Taylor all the time. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like she has a lot of friends.
I I told you last week that I was like tired of her shtick. I felt like someone pulled her aside and was like, "No, you really have to like sit down and open up to at least one of us about your relationship issues to try
Yeah.
and redeem yourself." It felt very like produced, to be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
And
totally.
whether or not it was from production or from like Tamra, it's like someone who understands the game, but I don't know. I It's just a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Um, yeah, I don't know. Anything else about this? I feel like we didn't get a lot of Tamara was working at a different gym called like Shreds instead of like Cut Fitness. It was like and she's like, "Oh, it's have to be in another gym aside from Cut Fitness." But Eddie was like head to toe in Cut Fitness gear.
Mhm.
uh I don't know. I'm still liking the season. It feels like it's
Yeah, yeah.
lighter than most of the others.
I just am having a hard time remembering because it felt like it was
Yeah,
so
it was a
long
week
ago.
ago. It's like old news by now, but we'll see what happens. We'll talk about this week's that's happening right now next time.
Mhm.
I do, and I will say I loved, and I don't remember if we talked about this before or after went live, but that Heather faked a tear and Shannon was like, put that on your IMDb. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
good one. Good one, Shannon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah. Got him. All right. Well, that's it on our housewives journey. To our listeners, our watchers, I am not caught up on Below Deck. Carrie is, so she's going to give us a quick
A lot
recap.
quicker
I
than the
have two
past.
episodes. I have two episodes just this week's episodes I haven't watched yet.
So things worth noting. Joao and Sheffy, they they did it.
No.
Yeah. And
Oh, okay. I feel
what's
spoiled, but okay, it's fine. I knew what I was getting myself into. Like
and
full
what
intercourse.
yes, like you see Joao on top of her. I mean, they're under a blanket, but and then it gets referred to a lot. And Aisha straight up says to, I almost said Chef Jason, um,
Wait,
what
was
do you
Aisha in the
call?
room?
No, hold on, wait a second. Why am I forgetting Captain? I'm like
Oh,
Chief. I couldn't come up with the word Captain. Colonel, Colonial.
Colonel.
Colonel Jason. She was like, yeah, it straight to him. She's like, Joao and Sheffy did this last
Wait, but how does she know Aisha? Because Aisha shares a room with her.
Um, yeah, but they were in Joao's room because Joao shares a room with Culver, and
Oh,
Culver
Culver was in the
and
other guy's room.
Jamie went to one of the guest cabins and they fucked there.
Jesus, this is such a sexually charged boat.
Yes. So no, Aisha knows because Sheffy was just like straight up like, yeah, we fucked. Your dick's great. Like yeah, I think the first thing she said in the morning was like, he's circumcised.
Oh well, good to know. I guess.
um, Culver made a little like well actually he had Joao make it on the computer of like a card almost of pictures of him and Jamie and then on the inside
How many pictures could they have? They've known each other for 3 days.
2 weeks and
No, it has
um
not been 2 weeks. There's no way.
that was the number being referenced on the show whether or not it is 2 weeks.
Her last charter was the first charter, and she only was there for like 2 days of it. And then they had one day in between. Right?
I think there was one I don't know because the charter, like where there was the seizure, Margot was like second
Yes.
stew essentially. And so she was second stew at least one charter before. So this
Okay, so
happened at the end
six
of the
days
seizure one. So yeah, but there's also probably like
production days that we don't
yeah,
know.
like they call them like dark days where like no one's working.
Yeah.
Um so there's yeah, he wrote like a card type of thing on the inside, like check yes or no. Do you want to be my girlfriend? And she was like, I hate this. This is disgusting.
Did
But
she
she
say
still
that to
checked
him?
yes. She said it in confessional.
Oh my God. This is
So
like,
Culver and Jamie are boyfriend and girlfriend. Joao and Sheffy did it. Um, the guy who had the seizure, he left the boat with someone, and they left him in the hospital. Like the other guy came back the next morning, but in terms of like being guests, they really liked this group.
mhm.
Uh oh, and then the other main thing was that Luke, aka guy who got fired, sent Margot a text being like, "Hey, I want to give you some time, but I would like to speak to you. Can you
Oh,
please?"
fuck off. Fuck
Yes.
off. Fuck off.
So then, I mean, we've seen Margot throughout the season like taking sips of alcohol like when she's not supposed to, but she
Yeah.
was second stew, so she was making a lot of drinks, and
Yeah.
Aisha had made like pina coladas and there was a lot left, and
She
she
drank
basically
one.
like drank all of it. Like the extra. And so she was kind of like she said in confessionals, like, in my life I've always resorted to alcohol when I've been like stressed, thinking like it's gonna make me feel better when really it doesn't. And so Aisha like went up to her. It was like, "You okay?" And then she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then Aisha's like, "You smell like alcohol." She's like,
Yeah, I
"Oh, I
remember seeing
tried the
that in the
pina
trailer.
coladas." Yeah. So
Yeah.
Aisha went to Colonial Jason and was like, uh, "Hey, you need to know." So then, um, Jason like pulled her aside. It was like, "You okay? You can't drink on charter." And she's like, "You're right. I know." She's like, I'm fine." I like, and so she kept working, and she's like, "I'm getting fired. I'm getting fired. I'm getting fired." And so at their tip meeting, Jason gave her the disco helmet, and
Uh-huh.
afterwards pulled her aside, was like, "This is your one warning. You haven't done anything else wrong. Like, but don't fuck up again." And so
Okay.
we'll see where that goes. But she never told anybody that Luke texted her. So like obviously I'm not saying like there's a direct cause and effect, but at least like what's they made it seem like her reasoning for drinking as much as she did while on charter was because she didn't want to like burden anybody else with like getting this text message.
Ugh. Well, I hope she blocked his number and didn't respond. And
She didn't
like,
respond. I don't know if she blocked the number.
well, I hope she did because that means she wouldn't see any of it coming in and it wouldn't even have to like
Mhm.
impact her. But like, fuck a dude who does some fucked up shit and then has to like clear his conscience. So he
Mhm.
has to like reopen these like traumatic wounds on another. Like, fuck this guy. Fuck this
Mhm.
guy. Fuck himself. Like,
Mhm.
fuck you, dude. Ugh.
Yeah. Um So I that for the most part, that's probably like your overall main
That's a lot.
highlights. Yeah, for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Joao is like still likable. I'm like I've more or less fully come around on Joao for now. Like I leave room for error.
I saw a
I
screenshot of a trailer.
Yeah, like him and Margot.
Yeah, making out.
I always like take those things with a grain of salt because like
Yeah,
I've
they
watched
do
enough Love Island to
dramatize.
know like it could have been a dare or something like spin the bottle or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it is that situation, but I did see that. So that's why I said I left room for error of like,
Yeah.
but Joao is a lot better than what he was.
Yes, for sure. I agree.
Still trending up.
I agree. All right.
But that was Below Deck. So a solid 2 episodes, nothing like too outrageous, but also definitely kept you entertained throughout it.
Yeah, I'll have to catch up. It's been on my list. I'm behind on a couple of things. I feel like Labor Day weekend like threw me all off. Um, but I'll be back up to speed next week when we chat. But we covered a lot today, I will say. And we are still we're at an hour and 54 minutes, currently
Hmm.
under 2 hours. And I just want to recap. We've spoken about Carl and Lindsay. We've spoken about Salt Lake City, Real Housewives of Atlanta, The Pass, Roni, Real Housewives of Orange County, and Below Deck. So that's like one,
A
two,
lot.
three, four, 5 shows and a movie and gossip in under 2 hours. So I feel like we did okay here.
Yeah. We're covering a whole
Shout out to
channel, damn
us.
it.
Yeah, hello, in one episode a week. So shout out to us.
Preach.
Anything else to review today? Anything else to
No,
bring
I'm
up?
hungry. I'm ready
I'm
to
hungry
crush
too.
whatever
I was low
my
key
dinner
hoping you were
ends
gonna
up
say no
being.
because I need to eat dinner. Well, then let's wrap it up here. Carrie, where can the people find you?
Just here. Only here. KGD26 for Twitter and Instagram. But otherwise, I'm not talking about much else besides Bravo at the moment. But you can listen here every week.
Yes, you can. And you can follow me at Real Some Katie on Twitter, and you can find me here on Sound Podcast talking about a bunch of things. Bravo, the challenge. We took the week off of the challenge this week because of Labor Day, and schedule conflicts, but we'll be back. And Big Brother every Friday on Bounce Checks. And check out Sound Podcasts everywhere you listen to podcasts. You can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitch, on Twitter. Check us out on Twitter to keep up to date. I actually realized I forgot I did not tweet about this. So sorry in advance if you were counting on my tweet and didn't see it. At silent_podcasts. And rate us, review us, tell us you love us. We appreciate it. And we will talk to you very soon. Bye, everybody.
Preach. Bye.